Hey guys, it's Licious Kid from ClimaxCombo, and we are back with another Leaks of the Week. This week we're just continuing off with Nanoha and SAO 2 trial deck. And yeah, that's all we have for this week. Before we get started, I just want to do a couple announcements. Checkers will be buying SAO 2 trial decks. Probably Thursday at midnight or Friday afternoon, so be expecting a opening for that sometimes this week. And after SAO2 and Nanoha, I believe after that, on the month of November, I think on the 21st or the 14th or the 28th. Let me just double check that. Oh, damn English website. No one cares about you. Let me see. On the 28th. So, the series coming out after this are Idolmaster Movie Booster and SAO2 Extra Booster. So, and Checkers is buying SAO2 Extra Booster, and my friend has already pre-ordered 5 Idolmaster Movie Boosters. So, if you guys are looking forward to any of those, then definitely you'll be expecting a lot of openings in the month of November. So, pretty exciting. Yeah, next month is gonna be very exciting for the channel. So yeah, and before we get started, I do want to apologize that there has been a lack of real content on the channel, like something with our real cards, like deck profiles and duels. Uh, Me and Checkers have been really busy this semester, and we haven't had a lot of time to meet. I haven't seen that guy in like over a month now. He has it really hard. But anyways, since I just finished up a bunch of tests, I should have some time this week. So I'm gonna try to bring over a friend, and then have a deck profile and a duel with his kill deck. So just something to look forward to. But with that out of the way, now we can get started. This week, or last Monday, I should say, was a public holiday in Japan. So this week we only have 4 days of leaks. So start things off is actually Tuesday's leaks, and it's this card right here. Kirito 1165 TD. He's Avatar and Weapon as per usual, and what he does is he combos with this stock 1 soul climax. When this card reverses its opponent's battle and you have the stock 1 soul, search your deck for 1 avatar or net character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card is alright. I think it's definitely good for a trial deck card. However, in real SAO decks, I don't think it's going to be ran just because of the Asuna Invitation to Party. I'm sure many of you guys do know this card by now and why it's really good. Because, yeah, well, I'll just go over it really quick. Asuna is in yellow, which is already a really good color. She combos with the Wind Trigger, which is arguably stronger than the stock 1 soul. Also, she's a bond target, she's costless, and her search is guaranteed. Unlike Kirito, where he's cost 1, and he's a very undersized 6/5. 2, he combos with the stock 1 soul, which is arguably worse than the Wind Trigger. I think it's worse, but that's up to the player. And he's in blue, and blue is not the strongest color in SAO. Definitely yellow is more preferred. So also he's blue. And lastly, his search is not guaranteed because he does have to reverse the opponent's character in battle, and him only sitting at a 1165, not that strong. Also, the stock 1 soul doesn't add any power to him, so he's only going to be attacking for 1165, which is still in backup range in the current meta's level 1 game. So because of that, I don't think this card is going to be used, just because we have Invitation to Party Asuna, which is very good card. There's a reason why. What is she at right now? 12 to 15 still? Somewhere around there. So there's a reason why she's really expensive, because she's super good. And because of that, I don't think Kirito is going to be ran. However, for a trial deck card, I do think this card is really good. So if you're going into this game with the SAO2 trial deck, then or you have friends getting into it, then yeah, this is a really good card for a trial deck. So yeah. And next we have this interesting card. It is a 2/1 Fate, 5k. She's R, Magic and Clone. What she does, she's a 1500 assist in front only for Nanohas and Fate. And her other effect is she combos. Well, we're gonna jump and cheat, and we're gonna go straight to Tuesday. She combos with this gate here. So when you play Fierce Battle, that's the gate right there. Choose 1 trait on your opponent's character on his stage. All your opponent's character loses that trait until the end of their turn. Now, this is a very interesting climax combo because Weiss a lot of decks nowadays are centered around a single trait, something like I think a really good example and a very possible example is Love Live. If they're running red, yellow, blue, or even just any Love Live deck, they usually run a bunch of Eddies and a bunch of Umis. You play Fate, you play the Climax, you choose music, and now all of a sudden, they all are not music characters. So Eddie only gets 500 per music, so she's only a 4/5 base. Umi doesn't only affects music, so for the turn she's absolutely useless. And if they run Maki, then she's only a 9k. And they can't even run their event backup because the event backup only targets music characters. So, you know, in a situation like that, this card would be very devastating. It just really depends on what series you're playing against. Like, I guess another example is like Nisekoi. If you choose key characters, they can't use their blue pendant backup because it only targets or key characters. And, you know, stuff like that. Angel Beats, you can target death, and now none of them get hand encore for the turn because the Kanade only affects death characters. Situations like that, but you know, against some decks it won't be as good. Maybe something like Little Busters. Their traits are kind of all over the place, like Student Councils. Even some of the characters are traitless, like Riki, and I think Kyosuke is traitless too. So against a deck like that, I don't think it will be as beneficial. However, the fact that if you're running a yellow, like a Nanoha deck that is centered around Fate, or yeah, if you're running a deck that's centered around Fate or Nanoha, this is a pretty good card for the deck just because you know, it's a 1500 in front assist for Nanohas and Fate. And if all your characters are Fate or Nanohas, then you know, it's really good. Also, the fact that it combos with the Gate, and you know, Gate being a very powerful Climax, even with all the anti-salvage around, Gate, you know, still really good. And just because of how easy this card is to splash into your deck, I do think this deck is, I think this combo is pretty viable. So because of how easy it is to splash into your deck, I don't think it hurts. You know, if you're running this card, it definitely doesn't hurt having a couple of these gates. So you could have the Climax combo for certain situations where you can really screw your opponent over. So because of that, I really like this Climax combo. I think it's very interesting. So just we gotta see you know, if people are going to run this or not. But in my opinion, I really like this card. I think it's super cool. So that's my thought on that. Next up, we have Wednesday's leak. First off, we have this guy, 00500 net, only because, you know, he's not in the game. Anyways, what he does is he's a 500 assist in front, and he has another effect where you can tap 2 characters, or place this card to rest, my bad. Choose up to 2 characters, and they gain the trait target until the end of the turn. As you guys have seen with the SAO cards, or the SAO2 trial deck cards, you know, the Death Gun cards revolve around your opponent having this target trait. And of course, there's no card in the game that actually has the target trait. You have to actually give it to them with other cards such as this. So this is a really cool card for the trial deck. It has it makes the whole target synergy very easy to achieve, pretty much guaranteed that you could give any character the trait target unless that card can't be affected by opponent's card effects. Something like the 3/2 Vita from Nanoha. Pretty much you can give any character trait target, and it's nice that you can choose 2 characters to give the trait target to, and you only have to rest him. So in general, I think this is a really good card for the trial deck. Of course, for the normal decks, if you're not running any Death Gun cards, this is absolutely useless. But really like this idea for the trial deck. Next up, we have this Nanoha 218KR. She also Climax combos with this Gate. So what she does is, when she attacks with the Gate, you may look at top 4 cards of your deck. Choose 1 magic or weapon character amongst them, add it to your hand, discard the rest, and this card gains plus 2k until the end of the turn. So, I think this Climax combo is okay. She's only 218k, which is very weak. However, the Climax combo being pretty good, and the fact that this is a Gate, I think this card is really easy to splash into your deck just because it combos with the Gate, and you know, you should be running at least 4 gates, in my opinion, for Nanoha. And yeah, and the Climax combo is not bad. It breaks even, and she hits 11k essentially because she gets plus 2k from her effect, and then she gets a plus 1k from the Climax combo itself, or from the Climax itself. So she'll be 2-1 11k, which is pretty good. She breaks even, and you get to thin out your deck. So in general, I think this card is playable. However, because of Nanoha's vast card pool and the fact that they have a lot of 2 to 3 changes, like the 2 to 3 Vita, Advanced Summon, I don't know what to call that, or the 2 to 3 change that revolves around the Hayate, since they have so many options, I don't know if they'll be running this card. However, I do think this card is very playable, but like I said, just because there's so many cards in Nanoha, I don't know how this card will compete against those, so we'll just have to see. Thursday's Leak is this card right here. I think this Death Gun's really good. So he's 1-0-3-5 Avatar and Weapon. What he does is during this card's battle, when this card's battling opponent has the target trait, this card gains the following ability. When this card is reversed in battle and the level of this card battling opponent is 1 or lower, you may place that character to reverse. And the second effect is pay 1, tap 2, choose one of your opponent's character, it loses 1 level, and gains the target trait for the turn. I think this card is, yeah, like I said, I think this card is really good, just because of the fact that it's pretty much a level 1 Suicider, but it, of course, only affects target trait characters. Of course, as we have seen by now, this Kyoji can essentially give any character a target trait. You can even give 2 characters target traits. So if you have 2 of these Death Guns in your hand, you can just tap 1 Kyoji, give 2 characters target trait, and then level 1 Suicide into them, and for that reason, I think this card is really good. Also, his other effect is really good as well, because let's say you don't draw into Kyoji, you can still use Death Gun own effect to give something the target trait. Also, the character loses 1 level for the turn. So this card can even Suicide with level 2s, which is pretty insane. I guess a good example is, right here, Love Live. Let's see if I can find it. Umi, yes. This one, if you guys play against Love Live, which I'm sure you guys have by now, Love Live being a fairly popular series, this card can essentially hit 2-1 10k before assist, which can be very annoying to deal with. But if you have something like this Death Gun here, pay 1, top 2, target this Umi, and now all of a sudden you just 1-for-1 with their 10k wall with this level 1 Suicider, but it also works for level 2s. So for that reason, I think this Death Gun is fantastic, and is, yeah, just fantastic card in general. Can Suicide with level 1s, and can Suicide with level 2s. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Next up, we have this Shamal. I think this Shamal is pretty cool too. 002k common. She's only magic. So what she does is when she's played from hand to stage, and your opponent has 1 or fewer characters on his center stage, choose one of your opponent's cost 0 or lower front stage characters and place it to the bottom of its owner's deck. This card is, it sounds situational, but it's really not, because, at level 0, you should try to not play too many cards at the front stage, try to 1-for-1 efficiently. I'm sure you guys know that by now. So if you're going second, then this card is fantastic, because most of the time your opponent only has 1 character in the front stage. If they do, bam, play Shamal, put that thing to the bottom of the owner's deck, and then, yeah, go from there. Of course, at some decks just can't get around this card, like if you're running the 0-0 Soul player Kirito, that gains +1 level, and he's 4k if you have no other characters. Play Shamal and bottom deck. Same thing with the 0-0 Nico, bottom deck, or the 0-0 Senjo from Bakemono. It has Encore, but doesn't really matter when it goes to bottom deck. So there's a lot of good targets this card can hit. And also, it's not necessarily only good at level 0. You can even use it at level 1. Let's say your opponent is attacking 3 times. Let's say the first character decides to just crash. That's 1 reverse. The second character attacks, you back it up, and that character dies, and the third character successfully attacks and reverses your character. Since they only have 1 character front stage now, if that character does happen to be cost 0 or lower, then you can just play Shamal and send it to the bottom deck. So that is kind of situational, but not too situational in my opinion. So Shamal can be useful later into the game, and she can even kill 0-1 changes, like oh, how convenient. Oh, did I get rid of her? The 0-1 change for Eddie, which many people run, especially in English still, just because you don't have much better options in the English Love Live, because they don't have their other boosters yet. But yeah, a lot of people still run the 0-1 change for the Eddie, and if they do that, just play Shamal and laugh at them. So yeah, in general, the Shamal is a fantastic card. I think it's a really nice tech card. You can run like 2 to 3. I'd say 2 to 3. I wouldn't run 4 of this. Yeah, I wouldn't run 4. Anyway, so yeah, I think this is a really cool card. Kind of wish it was a Hayate or a Rain, just so it works with the level 3 Hayate slash Rain, or so it works with the level 3 Rain that we saw a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, Shamal, but what can you do? And lastly, Friday Leak is pretty cool, I guess, but not SAO. So what this SAO card is a 1/1 4K TD net glasses. She changes, so she has a climax phase change. Pay 1, discard a card. Okay, and I'll just go over it properly. During the start of your climax phase, you can pay 1, discard a card. If you do, choose 1 Ice Mechanism Xenon from your waiting room and place it to the original border of this card. It has another effect where you can place this to rest, choose 1 avatar or net character, gains plus 2k until the end of the turn. The card we are talking about, we saw a couple weeks ago. It is this assist right here. I've already talked about it. However, I'll just go over it briefly in case you guys forgot. 3k avatar weapon, 1000 assist in front. You can place her to rest, choose 1 of your opponent's characters, and that character can't get backed up for the turn. And yeah, you could change into that Xenon via this 1/1 changer. And this is alright. You're essentially paying 2 and discarding a card to get this card out, because this card costs 1 herself. The change costs 1, and you have to discard a card for the Xenon as well. And of course, before you do the change, you of course want to put her to rest and give a character plus 2k. So that way you can give the power and then change into the Xenon. And the Xenon has a 1k in front assist, which is powerful at level 1. So you can essentially have a character have 3k more power for the turn. It's, it's cool, I guess, for a trial deck. I can't really remember a trial deck that has change in a very long time. Maybe Madoka? I'm not too sure. I didn't actually buy that trial deck. Anyways, it's been a while since the trial deck has had change, and maybe it will teach newer players that change does go against the level rulings. I've had like a million questions where people ask if change is legit. Yes, it is legit. You can change to a level 2 character or a level 3 character even if you're level 1, just because that's how change works. But yeah, in general, I think it's okay. It has nice synergy with the trial deck, because you can choose a character, you can choose an opponent's character that can't get backed up. Of course, the optimal target is this Kirito, so this Kirito can guarantee the kill. So it has nice synergy with the trial deck. However, in your legit SAO decks, I wouldn't run this at all, to be honest. Or I wouldn't run this changer at all. Maybe the Xenon, but definitely not the changer. But really cool trial deck synergy, in my opinion. And lastly, the coolest card this week. This card, 3/2 Nanoha, double R, 10k, 2 soul, magic and weapon. So what Nanoha does is, when she's played from hand to stage, you can discard a Nanoha from your hand. If you do, this card gains plus 4k and the following ability until the end of the turn. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may deal 1 to your opponent. Of course, this damage can be cancelled. And her other effect is, when this card is front attacked, you may pay 2 and place her to the top of your deck. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And of course, this damage can be cancelled as well. I think this Nanoha is very interesting and is super cool. First off, her first effect is, as we've seen with all the Nanoha's new level 3s that got released in this booster, they all require you to discard a card of the same character. Fate and Hayate, or like the Hayate and Rain one, that one's a little difficult to achieve just because there's not that many good Hayate or Rains. The Fate level 3 is a little easier just because there are better Fates in the series, but still, if you're running a mixed color deck, then it can be a little difficult to accomplish. However, this Nanoha has the most playable targets in my opinion. You have some pretty good level 0 Nanohas. You have the level 1 Nanohas are good. You have the level 1 Suicider and the level 1 Accelerator. For level 2, I'm not too sure. I mean, you could run this new Nanoha too, along with this. And of course, at level 3, you have herself, and you have her healer, the 3/2 Nanoha healer that heals on play, and I think you pay 5 on attack and burn 5. That healer is actually pretty good. So you have a lot of targets to discard with this Nanoha actually. So because of that, why do people text me when I'm recording? They never text me otherwise. Anyways, because of those reasons, I think this card is more playable than the others just because it's red, and there's a lot of Nanohas you can't discard from your hand over the other two. For those, and her effect is pretty good because she gets plus 4k, she's 14k before assist. If you have a level assist in the back, she's 15.5, and at that point, most level 3s can't even back up against that range. So because of that, it's pretty much a guaranteed burn 1 if you do have a Nanoha to discard when you play her. And of course, her second effect is also really cool and fun. I think it's a really fun effect because let's say you play like 2 of these Nanohas, have a third character attack, attack, attack. Of course, you burn them 1 twice. And if you leave them something like a 3-5 or 3-6, then I think they're gonna kill themselves. They can't even do anything against this Nanoha. The most they can do is try to side. And most people don't run +2 soul triggers, climaxes, so if they play a 1k 1 soul, they're going to have to hope they trigger a climax to try to side for 1 damage. And it's just, I think the second effect is really interesting just because you can really put your opponent in a situation where they can't even attack, because if they do, they will just kill themselves. Of course, this card does have its downsides of she does put herself to the top of the deck, meaning that it is guaranteed 1 card on top of your deck that's not a climax, making it more plausible that it'll lessen the chance of you canceling if you do use your effect. However, if her effect is going to win you the game, or has a chance of you winning the game, I think it's well worth it because if you're gonna lose anyways, you might as well try to use this Nanoha and pray you cancel, you know? So just it's pretty situational on how good the second effect is, but I think it's a very fun effect, very cool effect, a pretty fair effect. So yeah, just a lot of things I like about this Nanoha, and I'm curious to see where people go with this card. And yeah, that's I guess all I have to say for this card. Kind of difficult, just too many scenarios where the second effect can apply, but I think you guys can see the point of how devastating this card can be. So yeah, that is the leaks for this week. Like I said, only 4 days of leaks because Monday was a holiday in Japan. This week is alright. There's a lot of interesting cards in my opinion. I really like this Fate. I think it's cool. This Death Gun I think is really good. The Kyoji was meh until Wednesday came, or Thursday came, and then all of a sudden it was really cool because Death Gun is great. Shamal is an interesting card. I think it's cool. The Xenon is meh, and I really like this Nanoha. I think it's a really fun card. But yeah, that's all I have for this video, guys. Like I said, keep your eyes open for a possible Kill la Kill deck profile / duel this week. Also a possible, or definitely an SAO2 trial deck opening. And yeah, that's all. Now that's all I have for this video, guys, and until next time.